Hi, this is Tim with Total CSR. Hi, this is Tim at Total CSR.
Hello. This is Chrissy.
Hi there. Hi, thank you very much for getting on the call. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay, first thing I can do is go ahead, I'll get my screen up and visible for you to see it. And then next question, so what course would you like me to cover? I'm presuming probably the commercial CSR training, maybe the
Yes,
personalized
please.
too. Okay, that's the plan. We can do that. I'd be glad to. And then a quick question too as well. So now I had done a demo a couple of months ago, I think, with Erin Pullman. Do you guys work for the same agency?
We do. She's in our St. Cloud office. I'm in our Mendota Heights office in Minnesota.
Oh, gotcha. So just, okay, sounds good. Then, all right, I'll go ahead and get started and jump right in. The first screen I want to show you is going to be the admin page, which is my agency from the upper right corner. And here we go. So we can see users enrolled in our courses with their names and how they're progressing through the modules if we want to track them there. Adding a new user, we just need first name, last name, and email address. They'll get an auto email sent to them, and then they can access our site and go to the user side, which is my CSR. So here's our main agency page, or main education page, I should say. We got 4 tabs for our 4 different courses, and starting off with the commercial lines there. So there's going to be 7 main modules of training that we go through. After general education, it's workers' comp, GL, auto, excess and umbrella, property, and inland marine. Then we have 6 follow-up modules after that. So it makes 13 in total in order to complete the course. And I'll go ahead and launch the workers' comp one, and we'll take a closer look. It's a good overall review. The course index is on the left-hand side here, and we'll get up to the beginning. And so we start each line of coverage with a 2-minute intro video and just the basics for that line of coverage. What is it? Why do we have it? We even talk about the history of workers' comp and some common claim scenarios that we need to know, etc. After that, we'll look at some requirement and coverage information like compulsory versus elective. Then we have an interactive state map. And so we can get the state requirements, work comp that is for any state in the country, like California, if I click on that. Next is the coverage form. And so we want to review parts 1, 2, and 3 for workers' comp. We'll also touch on the limits of liability that are going to apply. Some common endorsements we need to know, like waiver, subrogation, is it blanket or is it scheduled? Some common, and then from there, some common exclusions too. That's all for the coverage part. We then go to our next section. We call it the CSR support cycle, and really it's the main focus of our training. So we've determined as a CSR or account manager that these are the 8 major steps we need to know, and you see them listed there, from obtaining submission info to completing the accord forms all the way down to supporting the insured. And we consider these the practical processing, kind of servicing, real world day-to-day activities. And what we'll do is the rest of then this module, we're going to train in more detail on these 8 major steps. And so beginning with submission information, and first subsection will be payroll figures. We'll talk about how to collect those payroll figures. We'll look at straight time wage. What is it? How do we calculate it? And then we go to remuneration and payroll. What does it include? What does it exclude? And then independent contractors and employees. How do we define them? And how do we classify them? Also the supplemental application. What kinds of information is on it? What does it look like? And now we get to our loss run section. So first off, we'll define currently valued, and then we'll look at a sample loss run report and see what it looks like. And we'll also have some terminology. And now, so we use flashcards for all the new terms that we're going to be learning. We can say what's paid losses, what's outstanding losses, etc. So there's actually 22 terms we'll review. And then our next step is going to be what we call a tutorial. Now, it's a loss run tutorial. And when we do a tutorial, what that means is we just generate a number of green arrows on the document. And then we got to click our way through all of those arrows to complete the tutorial. Along the way, we're getting familiar, we're learning all the sections. So like we have policy period, valuation date, claim number, date of injury, and so on until it's done. And then the next screen, what we're going to do is we like to test our knowledge as we're going. So this is a loss runs quiz. We will 22 questions that we're answering on that. We do require on this and all quizzes to pass with a 75% or better. So our goal is to learn and retain the information as best we can, not to just speed through all the sections as quickly as possible. From there, we're going to go to step 2 of the cycle. So we're looking at the accord forms, and so that would be the Accord 130. We're going to do another tutorial. You can see that we've got a lot of green arrows that we need to click our way through, and a lot of different sections that we're highlighting. So we'll do all 4 pages of it. And then we move into what we call our scenario section. And what we're doing in the scenario, so we're actually training the user how to complete the Accord 130 form. We want them to have that base foundational knowledge, and once they understand it, they can train it or transfer to any agency system. So for each scenario, here's how it works. First off, we have some attachments that we're referencing, and the information will actually transfer over. So here's some work comp information, and then we've got payroll figures and class codes, the supplemental application, etc. And then we begin the scenario. We'll go into a blank Accord 130, complete all 4 pages with the information in the attachments, and hit submit. We're trying to get 95% correct. We don't expect you to pass first time. So then when we jump back in, you see it highlights those fields that are still blank or incorrect. And then we can go through it, get it cleaned up, and get the scenario done. It's like a virtual manager really working through it with us. Now that's one scenario. We're going to do 5 in total for this module, and so it's a lot of repetition. It's real world examples as well, but the pressure's off because it's not a live client. And so next, when we're comfortable there, we'll look at sending our submission out, what's included in that, etc. We've got samples of the documents. Then we'll go into our reviewing quote section. So we have some more terminology here, actually 14 terms specifically on quotes, like base rate. And then we'll move down, and we've got a sample quote. We'll color code it, and we'll highlight it, explain each section, any math that's involved. We want to go over that as well. And we'll test our knowledge again here. So this time it's a quotes reviewing quiz, and then there's 15 questions then on this one. And work our way through that and pass it, and continue on with the cycle. We'll look at presenting our proposal, what's included in that, etc. Then we can move down to binding coverage. What is the bind order? What does it include? What are the carriers asking for? We have an example of one as well. And then also policy checking. Why is this important? What documents do we use for policy checking? There's an exercise here. So we'll practice doing some policy checking on our own in that PDF. These questions go along with that exercise too. Lastly, it's supporting the insured. And first topic's monthly payroll reporting. What is that? What is this form here? What are the sections of it? How do we complete it? We want to look at the claims process too. What are the steps of submitting a claim? Be sure we have a good handle on that. What's a final audit? Why are they required? And then of course, there's types of final audits, voluntary and physical, and some possible situations that might come up. Our last section will be E&O prevention for that line of coverage. So how do we protect our agency? What kind of mistakes do we want to look out for? We have, we're at the end now. So the end of each line of coverage is a final exam. So this is 28 questions on workers' comp. And in the finals, we do have to pass with 90% or better. So we have even a higher threshold than we use for the quizzes. And but once we pass it, then we're done with that module. And so you've got a good idea, a good feel now for our format and our activities and all of it. The timeline that we're looking at, the 7 main modules, in order to get through them, it's going to take about 9 or 10 hours each. So it's about 65, 70 hours for those main modules. The follow-up modules are just 1 hour each. They are spread out over 6 weeks, and so we do it like that because we really want to reinforce our retention and the long-term memory. But then we're done, and a great job for doing all 13. We will issue you a TCSR designation for completing the course. It's just our designation, but users like to put it in their signature line or add it there. And then we can come back and review any one of the sections if we want to or need to. And so from there, I'll show you the soft skills just because this is included in the CSR training. And we got these modules here. So we're talking about things like composing emails and letters, communicating on the phone effectively, working with difficult customers. They're not insurance specific, but they're critical for critical business skills that we need. Timeline for those, they're about 10 to 12 hours on average to work our way through those. And so then from there, lastly, I guess we can go to the pricing tab if you haven't seen it yet. This is on our website, so through totalcsr.com. We can pick a program, we look at the commercial lines, and so our base package is going to be $19.99 for a 12-month contract. That's one admin, 3 users, and the soft skills are included. When it comes to the users, we're not limited to 3. It just means no more than 3 at a time can actually do the training. So if you need to train more than that, you easily can over 12 months. The average time to complete the course is about 3 to 3.5 months. So FYI on that. Now these other packages are for larger agencies. If you have 5 or more locations, we give you a custom proposal, and that's how that works. If you wanted to bundle it, so if you do personalize, you want to add it in, you can. The price would go to $3,500 for the year on that one. And so with that, I know I've gone over a lot. We can open up to your questions or anything else.
How long have you guys been around?
Yeah, so we just launched a little bit over a year ago, about 15 months now. However, the founders of Total CSR also own a 3rd-generation agency. So their father's been in the business over 40 years. They've been running their own agency now for 12 years. And so it was really born out of the frustration that agencies feel everywhere, critical ongoing need for training. And the kind of thing was we need help with where's the training, where's the schools for CSRs, and they never found it, so we built it ourselves.
Mm-hmm. So I think Erin wasn't able to make the webinar, I think it sounded like she said, right? Or did somebody else watch the webinar, do you know, from our agency?
Oh, let's see. Oh, yeah, you know what, I'm looking at the notes. I thought we had, I guess it didn't work out. Correct. Yeah, she hadn't seen it yet.
So I think she's going to try to get some time next week to go through this, and then her and I are going to talk again. So
okay, great. Here's what I can do.
Go ahead.
I can also, I record these demos, so I can send you a copy of it. I'll email it to you. So if she wants to look at that, if she wants to schedule another one, it's fine. You got a couple options. Yeah,
she can schedule one with you guys too, because she might have her own questions too. But just to tell you a little bit about Northwest Partners, we have, I think now, over 23 locations, over 300 employees.
Okay.
So we kind of separate based on divisions. So I'm in the Twin Cities division, and Erin is up in the St. Cloud division up there. So, and then we have a couple other divisions. So we're kind of looking at how are we going to train new people coming into the organization other than what we've been doing so far. And your company came up in one of the NetView discussion chat things. And so, so that's kind of how this came up again. So how, from a pricing standpoint, I know if we just did the 3 users, you know, $2,000 a year, 12-month contract. But, you know, we have we're in the 5 or more locations. So,
right. So pricing-wise, right, so you guys would have to do a custom proposal because of your size, and so the agency wouldn't be available to you. So generally that's going to start, just to give you an idea, it's about double the Premier, so it'd be about 8,000, and it might be more, maybe 8 to 10,000, 25 users. But our CFO, if we get to that point, the CFO could provide you a custom proposal based on how many offices are needing the training, it's your size, et cetera.
Can we start out with the 3 users and see if we like it?
I'll ask my CFO. I mean, he usually doesn't approve that. You know, we kind of have to be firm with based on the large agencies.
Yeah, no, I get it. I just might as well ask, right? So then in the custom area, you have unlimited users, I'm assuming, right?
Well, it doesn't become unlimited, but we would tailor it to what you need so you have plenty.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, I read through some of your testimonials. It looks like people really find it very, very useful, and it works well, and all of those things.
Good to hear. No, yeah, that's great. Yeah, we're definitely getting some good organic kind of grassroots word of mouth, and so we really, really appreciate that. It's been really helpful. And one other thing I'd mention too, so on the custom proposals, just to give you an idea, you're going to have a deep discount. You know, obviously you have more locations, but it generally starts at about 20% discount off of our retail price.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I don't have any other questions. I just kind of wanted to see the demo, and I watched your video on your website first, so.
Okay, well, sounds great. Well, I'll shoot you my contact info. Any other questions come up, let me know. I can, we try to set something up or try to get with Aaron if we need to, and we'll go from there.
That sounds great.
Okay, well, have a great weekend. Thanks for your time.
You too, thanks for your time.
You're very welcome. Take care.
You too, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.